Hey, good morning. So today we're still continuing with Celebrate Freedom Week, and we're going to be talking about the preamble to the Constitution. So again, we are identifying the intent, the reason, the meaning, what does it mean, and the importance. Why is it important? In this case, we'll be talking about the intent, meaning, and importance of the U.S. Constitution, or specifically the preamble to the Constitution. Why am I learning it? Because these are important historical documents. And basis for the United States as a nation. So that's why it's important. How will you know? Well, you will be able to tell me the intent, the reason why it was made, the meaning, what does it mean, and why is it important. Okay, so let's get to it. So yesterday, we talked about the Declaration of Independence, that the United States wanted to liberate itself or separate from England, who was treating them badly, and therefore they had a revolution. So what? Well, they finally separated from England, and they had to do things on their own. So they had to come up with rules for this new country that they were going to make. And that's basically it. So how are we going to deal with this new country? What are we going to do? What's the government going to be like? Are we going to have a king? Are we going to have a president? Are we going to have government by a group of people? How are we going to make this new country work? So that's why they wrote the Constitution, to put the rules of how this country was going to be working in. So the preamble, like we talked yesterday, a preamble is the opening or the beginning of something. Okay, so the preamble is the opening of the United States Constitution. It explains the reasons why the framers of the Constitution, or the people who created the Constitution, made our government a republic. So by doing this, the Founding Fathers replaced the Articles of Confederation. Before there was a Constitution, there were some like little rules, and they made a group of rules, if you would, called the Articles of Confederation. Basically, they were saying, okay, we're 13 colonies, we're going to come together when we need to, but we can separate whenever we want. We can do our own thing. So the preamble, along with the rest of the Constitution, was written over a period of about 6 weeks. So it took about 6 weeks for them to come together and write it all. Okay, and the preamble helps explain why the Constitution was written. So it gives us the reason why it was written. So here it is. Here's the preamble. Okay, it's one paragraph, and it states this: "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." So what does it really mean? So let's break it down into smaller chunks. So we the people. This phrase means all the citizens of the United States, everybody. Even though the Constitution was written up by some of the most well-educated men of that new country, the rights given on this document were given to all American citizens. So this represents we the people, everybody, in order to form a more perfect union. In order to form a more perfect union. So the previous government was based on the Articles of Confederation. So I told you that was like an agreement. We're going to help each other when we need to, but then we also are our separate thing. It's not like one country. So it was very limited. So when the framers or the writers of this new Constitution, they felt that they were making a new government that would be a better way to govern the country. So instead of being separate but coming together whenever they needed to, this was more like, let's join together, let's unify, come together as one, and become one country. So this picture is to represent that, coming together as one country, being united, being one. Establish justice. The reasons why there was a revolution against England was still important to the American citizens. Remember that they separated from England because they were being treated badly. So they wanted to make sure that they would have justice under the Constitution. And usually, justice is represented by a lady with a balance, this scale. So the scale represents the evidence or things, and you weigh it and see what's right and what's wrong, and make it fair. So to establish justice, make sure that we have a fair government. Ensure domestic tranquility. Tranquility is another word for peace. So that's why I have the symbol for peace and the dove, which is also a symbol for peace. So one of the main reasons why the Constitution Convention was held was because of Shays' Rebellion. This was an uprising of farmers in Massachusetts against the state for having to repay war debts. Citizens were worried with the keeping of peace within the country's borders. So they were concerned. Some people didn't agree with the results of the war, and there would be some fighting. So they were trying to make sure that there was peace in this new country. So that's why they wrote the rules, to make sure that there was domestic, meaning in home or in the house, in the country, tranquility, which means peace. So the rules were made so we could have peace here in this country. Provide for the common defense. So common, again, everybody, and defense means protection. So there was still I got tongue-tied. There was still I think that's a mistake. A chance should be. There should be a chance of being attacked by other countries. Because it was like a baby country, other countries might wanted this territory, so they needed to come together and make an army. So no individual state had the power to defend itself against attack. So because of this, the framers knew it was important for the states to defend the nation together. So that created all our armed branches. They figured out, alone we can do battle, but together we're stronger, so we can protect each other. So provide for the common, everybody, defense, protection of everyone. Promote the general welfare. Well, general is like, again, everybody. Welfare is well, to be okay, and fair to do okay. So to make sure that everybody is fine, to make sure that everybody is doing okay. So this phrase meant that the well-being of the citizens would be taken care of as well as possible by the federal government. So the government was going to make sure that everybody was taken care of as well as they could within their possibilities. So the government is supposed to make sure that everybody in the country is doing okay. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. So secure is to make sure that we have it. Blessings is usually something very good. What blessings? The blessing of liberty. So we have freedom to ourselves, for us, and our posterity. Posterity means like our children and our grandchildren. And so these guys wanted to make sure that they had liberty, not only for them in 1776, but for everybody who came afterwards. So the point of this phrase in the preamble and the Constitution as a whole was to help protect the country's hard-earned rights of liberty. They fought hard. They had to go to battle and go to war to get liberty, to avoid unjust laws. Laws were not fair, and freedom from a government that was tyrannical or bad. Ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So this is the last phrase of the preamble, and it's a powerful statement saying that the people made this document. We the people, remember how this starts, and the people give the country its power. Not just one person, it's everybody agrees. So you have the power. You empower the Constitution, and you created the Constitution, or the people created the Constitution. We the people. So can you answer the following questions? What is the Constitution? 2. Why did they write them? Why did they write these rules or this document? What was the point? And last, we still use the Constitution today. So the question is, why is it important to us today? Just like yesterday, why was the Declaration of Independence important to us today? It happened in 1776. This happened like way back then, but we still use it. Why is it important to you today? Think about it, discuss with your partners, And remember to record your answer in your social studies journal so you can talk to me about it later. All right? Have a good one.